That's red wave music. That's what the red wave sounds like. Good morning, everybody. Marcus Conti. Happy Election Day to you and yours. Yes, it is. It's Election Day in America, where elections in 2016 were hacked and stolen and rigged and taken away from Hillary Clinton. Oh, my God, the Russians. And then in 2016 here in America, it became illegal, foul. You will be banned for life if you speak about how an election might have been rigged for Donald Trump, or against Donald Trump. So I voted today. I voted. There it is. I woke up very early this morning, and it is official. I have voted. I went into the office about 7:30 this morning because I get up with the chickens, or actually before the chickens. And I cast my vote, so it does look like, we'll go through the, if you haven't voted yet, we'll go through the numbers. It looks like, I'm no numbers guy, I'm no political numbers cruncher. And if you watch this program, you know that I really don't believe that the elections are on the up and up. I think that they're heavily manipulated in so many different ways, not just foreign hackers, but the insiders, the players. 99% of it is the insiders, fucking with the numbers. For example, last week I was censored because I don't have a political opinion. I'm in the middle. I'm not supporting Democrat nor Republican. So what do? I get fucking banned from YouTube for even speaking a week before the election. Right? So that's manipulation. That's what it looks like. That's what election rigging looks like in America when you silence people and try to manipulate the narrative. That was too much for too early, man. Because I've been up too early. I'm drinking my mint tea. I wonder if you could get toxicity from too much mint. I drink it all day long. It's delicious. So again, we'll look at the good morning, everybody in the chat. Weevil Girl is here. TJ, what's up? What's up? Vinny D. Martini, motherfucker. William Smith, my brother in Philadelphia, is here as well. Jim Gerard, Champs, Cass, Philly, Camden, Fear Porn. Everybody is here. That means we could start. And everybody else that I missed. William J. Hall is here. So again, here we are. It's November 8th. November 8th has rolled upon us, and we're in the heat of today. Right now, America is picking their midterm candidates. All of Congress is up for grabs, and some Senate seats are up for grabs, and a handful of governor seats are up for grabs too, as well as many state and local assemblies and positions are up for grabs. So I went into my experience. I went into an election booth, election polling area today in Pennsylvania for the first time. There were desks set up with pencils, and they hand you a ballot, and then they give you not a receipt but a pull off. It looks like I was number 33. Polls opened at 7. I got in there at 7:35. No line. There was only 2 other people in the room voting. Huge room. And I was number 33. So 33 people per half hour. That's 60 people an hour for 12 hours. That's I guess my particular experience, but it was four kind of elderly black women sitting behind the counter, some boisterous, loud, tall white guy. Nobody seemed to know what they were doing either. Yeah, because I don't know what I'm doing because I never voted in the state before. I walk in, nothing is clear. It doesn't tell you where to. And you're staring at them, they're staring at you. I'm like, how do I vote here? And so I voted. And I told you yesterday, I have no secrets. I voted straight down the list, Republicans. Right? I'm no Republican, but let me tell you, look, the Democrats are a deeply corrupted party, right? They engage in censorship. They lie. They support a military-industrial complex that's almost starting a fucking war, and on and on and on. They rig their own primaries. I can't in good faith, and I never have. I haven't pulled a lever for a Democrat since 2016. That would be the last time. The last one I did was Bernie Sanders, and won't do it again until I'm convinced that they are totally purged. I'm not saying that the Republicans are any better, but at least when you have fresh blood coming in, that's a little better than having the old blood continue to suck the energy out of you. So that's my take. It looks like for me in Pennsylvania, it was the big Senate race with Oz versus Fetterman. That's the one you're hearing buzzing on the TV right now. So I voted for Oz. He's the Republican. I don't agree with his policies. I don't care. But I know, Well, so we'll look at the details. It's not about me. I'm just trying to. My gut, regardless of who I voted for and why I think you should vote that way. I do think, based on some of that and the punditry out there, that we're going to see a red wave. In the next 3 days, it should be official. I think it does seem that the House is going to go the way of the Republicans, and by a smaller margin, probably the Senate as well. So you'll have a red House, red Senate, with a blue elderly president who's going to veto everything they throw at him for the next 2 years, and that's fine. That is fine, man. So here's my thumbnail today. The red wave. Watch out, man. Watch out. Watch out. You want to ban oil? You want to play identity politics? You want to side against abortion or for abortion? I think you lose. Right? A lot of people on the left are still blind to that idea. They said, well, the Republicans overturned Roe v. Wade, right? As if it's a bad thing. It's like, no, man. Most of this country was for that. Right? And whatever you think about abortion is kind of irrelevant to that law because, again, Roe v. Wade was a flawed piece of law from the beginning. Roe v. Wade stood on two things. Number one argument that the women made, or the arguers made in support of Roe v. Wade was that abortion somehow denies the woman of her life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The presence of a child. Right? That was the argument. It's not my argument. That was their argument. The other one was that America had a precedence for accepting abortion, which was totally frivolous. Prior to the 1960s, if you had an abortion, the woman was, grabbed by the hair and pulled out onto the street and left there. And it was something unthinkable. The doctors were arrested. Everybody involved was criminalized. And so the notion that there was a precedence for abortion in America prior to Roe v. Wade is incorrect. And the fact that a child is going to deprive a woman of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is utter fucking ridiculous. The child inspires you, man, or should anyway. If you're a thinking, feeling human being, you would know that your offspring is somebody that carries the flame, right? So again, the idea that people are not aware of that in America, and for me, I don't think anything should be illegal. I think that speech should be legal, drugs legal, abortion legal. It doesn't make it morally right for you or me or anybody else, but it makes it not a crime. Right? I'm not into that. I'm not into criminalizing everything. But anyway, man. So thank you everybody for joining me. That's the red wave. the red wave. I have a website. My name is Marcus Conti. I am still here. We are now in show 79 of 100. Nobody knows, not even thou, knows what's going to happen at 100. Should I stay or should I go? I don't know. I don't know if any of this is worth it. Or I might just, I might just reincarnate into a Buddhist monk. You guys are going to say, oh, I know that guy. He's a fucking political guy, man. He's a phony. He's no Buddhist. He's no fucking monk, man. That's Conti. I'll do a whole fucking video, right? A video, sitting on the doing politics from the cushion, maybe, I don't know, or just do cat videos. Stick with cat videos. So I got a website on a daily basis every morning at 9 a.m. Rain or shine, we're live, and if YouTube kicks us off, the first channel or the second channel or any channel, we head over to D Live where we remain live. Right now we're live on the main channel, YouTube #1, because last week we were removed for misinformation, malinformation, cyberbullying, possibly hacking, right? Possibly being involved with Paul Pelosi taking a hammer to his head. Why else would they censor someone such as I? I don't know. It's politics. I do know. It's politics. It's money grabbing. It's shut the fuck up and toe the party line, or we'll vilify you. We'll call you a fucking, cyber bully and a hacker and a terrorist. So here's my website, and marcusconti.com. I could never get lost there. If you can't find us, just comment right on the front page. I will gladly post. Where's the link? I accidentally deleted the link. Oh, man. All right, I'll put it back up. But right now we're on YouTube every morning at 9 a.m. And I had a link here that was specific. I must have deleted it somehow when I was editing the site. So I'll go back and I'll remember to put that up today. Dendrick Fractala says Jason Goodman is responsible for reporting the channel. Jason Goodman, you remember that guy? A fucking crazy dude, crazy Jewish boy from Long Island. Wants to be a reporter. Once was in Hollywood. Now, Jason Goodman was, he had a moment there right before when he was dealing with George Webb. He actually had a brain, had a brain on his shoulders, and then he lost it. He got caught up with the wrong people. Like all those conspiracy theorists. But anyway, nonetheless, he's probably still lurking. Probably fucking envious. He's envious. Anyway, who cares about that guy? Who cares? So let's start here. So on the ballot, let's talk about all of the wonderful things that you might be able to vote for. I didn't see anything in Pennsylvania other than people running for office. But in Colorado, they had psychedelic mushroom on the ballot. Let's listen.
This Tuesday, voters in Colorado will decide on whether to decriminalize psychedelic mushrooms. They're illegal almost everywhere, but their apparent health benefits have put them on the ballot. Barry Peterson has more tonight from Denver.
Mm-hmm. They're known as magic mushrooms, with the active ingredient psilocybin that some research shows may help a lot of people. Mm-hmm. Dr. Albert Garcia Romeo is assistant professor of psychiatry and behavioral sciences at Johns Hopkins University, where psilocybin is tested in clinics.
I think psilocybin seems to be very promising as a potential treatment for a number of different conditions, for depression, for addictive disorders. That would include things like alcohol dependence, cocaine dependence, opioid dependence.
I'm laughing. The idea that magic mushrooms are now a cure for cocaine dependence and heroin and alcohol dependency is, it's not that it's actually ridiculous, because it's probably true and it probably could work. But the idea that the world is finally awakening to these ridiculous, these rather obvious observations. See, if you didn't illegalize everything and vilify everything and make everything a fucking crime, you wouldn't have these types of confusions. You would have people deciding for themselves. And the shit that doesn't work would fall by the wayside. Like heavily, heavily refined white powders in the form of heroin and cocaine and fentanyl. Things are poison. Right? But a mushroom that grows out of the ground that brings you psychedelic pleasure, probably not a problem unless you, you eat a truckload of them. But if you nibble, I wouldn't think that it's bad at all. I'm sure other animals are eating them. You don't think other animals are eating psilocybin, whatever it's called, psilocybin? Of course they are. What do you think? Where do you think the mushroom goes? Why you don't think nobody? You don't think any creature comes along and eats it like a fucking beaver or a deer? Deer probably love mushroom. Anyway,
Tobacco use.
Colorado was the first state to legalize recreational marijuana. Now it's voting, as Oregon already has, to let people grow psilocybin for personal use or go to special clinics using it with monitors present. A move.
That's a great image. You're laying on a couch, tripping your ass off, and somebody has to hold your hand. Why not teach people how to trip? That's probably a good thing, right? They don't teach it at I noticed at the dispensaries here in Pennsylvania. There's nobody there teaching you how to be high. Right? At least in a bar, they teach you. When you go to a bar, they teach you how to drink. Right? You learn how to drink. You sit at the bar, elbows on the table, and say, "Give me a drink." And you sit there and you drink it, and you watch that fucking baseball game and enjoy it. Right? They teach you how to drink, how to be a man, right? In Ireland and shit, right here too. But nobody teaches you how to smoke weed. If you smoke weed, you're a criminal. You got to go down the back alley and hide. Right? Why can't you smoke? Why can't you smoke in public? Why aren't you allowed in New York and now the legal states you are? But why aren't there areas where people can enjoy themselves? That's the point. There's no fucking medical anything to any of this. Medical. What the fuck is medical? Medical. I need a doctor that's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's not medical. It's physics. Right? You eat something and it makes you feel better. Right? Food is the same way. Caffeine, nicotine, sugar. Yesterday I wasn't feeling so good, and I noticed that I ate lunch twice. I went to Chipotle. I go to Chipotle once in a while. I like Chipotle. They have a sofrita. It's a tofu mix because I don't eat the chicken or the beef. I don't eat meat. It's bad for you. It's very, very bad for you. Right? It'll twist your colon into bad places, right? Because you're eating death. But I eat the sofrita, but then I backed it up with a big bowl of oat shredded wheat with banana, and it was too much, and I suffered. I suffered until today, and now I'm not suffering anymore. But anyway, everything is a drug.
A move supported by Denver City Councilman Chris Hines.
The public doesn't know much about what's happening in a commune or prayer circle or whatever, but people understand what medicine is, Western medicine.
Psilocybin is a federal Schedule I drug like heroin or LSD, but the FDA has now designated it a breakthrough drug for research purposes.
Unbelievable. I'll stop it there. The FDA has granted breakthrough therapy. Oh my God, right? You could change people's minds rather than trying to physically suck the fat out of their gut. You can change their mind about eating. That's what psilocybin does. That's what THC does. It changes people's minds about something. And that's a good thing. Very good thing. I think I would say that with especially medical dispensaries and medical marijuana, they should definitely teach meditation because they go hand in hand. Learn how to use your mind when it's flashing colors before you. But anyway, the irony here is unprecedented. FDA, and also all this stuff you can grow. There's no reason to go out and buy it. I just grew like, I don't know, 2 pounds of tobacco, and I don't even smoke. But I live in Pennsylvania where it's illegal to grow weed. Once it's legal, I will grow. I'll grow 6 plants, 10 plants, whatever the minimum is, maximum is. I'll grow them, and I'll celebrate it while I'm here. And so anyway, what else we got? So a big race down there in Georgia. Senate race. You remember Herschel Walker, the football player guy, right? He's taking shit, man, because he joined the Republican Party running for Senate, and he's black. Right? He's getting attacked for his blackness. So let's check out Herschel Walker. If you don't know who he is, he was on Maria Bartiromo's show. We'll watch Jerky Joe lay the foundation for I don't know what.
Nothing else at stake. Democracy itself. I'm not the only one who sees it. Recent polls have shown that overwhelming majority of Americans believe our democracy is at risk, that our democracy is under threat. They too see that democracy is on the ballot this year, and they're deeply concerned about it.
Well, that was President Biden speaking on Wednesday night in his last-ditch effort to convince voters that Republicans are a threat to democracy, despite Democrats in Washington, D.C. right now on the verge of giving non-citizens the right to vote in local elections. And President Biden using his FBI and DOJ as weapons against his political enemies. While the Democrats say they want to pack the Supreme Court, among other moves against the U.S. Constitution and U.S. democracy. With the poll set to open in less than 48 hours.
All of these reasons are the reasons why you vote red. That's why the Reds are going to win. You got to get rid of these people, man. They're out of fucking control. Get rid of all of them, Jerky Joe.
Republicans are making their final pitch to voters, focusing on the economy, crime, and the threat of communist China, among other issues affecting American families. In Georgia's Senate race, Republican challenger Herschel Walker has a 2-point lead over Democrat incumbent Raphael Warnock.
Look at that, man. 2 black guys. The black on the left is running Republican, and the black on the right is getting his ass handed to him on the Democratic side, right? So who are the blacks going to vote for in Georgia? I heard there's a lot of them. There's a lot of blacks down there in Georgia, and they like to vote black. So now, imagine that. Imagine that. The Republicans are taking the lead in the Republican in the working class and or lower class. Herschel Walker, the football player. Let's listen to him speak. See, we got to figure out, is Herschel Walker a real black, or is he a Uncle Tom, as they're calling him? He's a black man voting white.
With inflation topping voters' concerns there. Joining us right now to talk more about that is the man himself, Herschel Walker. Herschel, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
How are you feeling now, 48 hours away?
Well, I feel pretty good. You know, when you have a president talking about the biggest threat to democracy is seem to be electing a Republican. But I want everyone out there that's listening to me, the biggest threat to democracy is to have him at the White House. And the biggest threat to democracy is to have someone like Senator Warnock to vote against our Keystone Pipeline, which put us in an international threat. I think right now that's a threat, and that's a security threat with going to our enemies to ask for energy. That's a threat.
This is what they call an Uncle Tom, right? This is what you get labeled if you're black and you vote Republican. You're Uncle Tom. You're a black man acting white. Right? I don't think Herschel Walker can act white. Listen to his whatever, man. His diction it's a little hard to understand them, but we'll overlook that, right? I'm becoming a little hard to understand with no teeth. Herschel Walker, I don't know what his fucking problem is. It's from football, man. He got banged in the head too many times. But so what, man? So what? Still vote for him.
That's a biggest threat to democracy there. And also putting men and women's sports, which he voted for that. The biggest threat to democracy is to have the people, the Democrats right now, leading this country because they seem to be taking this country in the wrong direction. And I think America sees that and they know that.
And you know, Herschel, the threats to democracy is just really one of the many attacks against you and other Republicans, but specifically you. I want to get your take on what you think about some of these slurs that have come your way. We ran a soundbite of President Obama attacking you earlier in the program, but beyond that, there's been people calling you Republican puppet, disgrace to black people. I mean, they're using your race against you, despite the fact that you've got two black men competing against one another in Georgia. How do you feel about all these slurs and these attacks?
I'll answer that for you, Herschel. The Democratic Party are full of fucking white racists. They're full of racists, man. They're fucking racist. That's why. The critical race theory is a racist theory. The President of the United States picked a Supreme Court justice because she was a woman and black. He is a by definition, racist. What do you think,
Well,
Herschel?
first of all, running for this seat is much bigger than name calling and much bigger than Herschel Walker. And the biggest threat to me right now to have Senator Warnock to represent the great people of Georgia because he's a fake, he's an actor, and right now he went to Washington and said that he was going to represent the people, and yet he voted with Joe Biden 96% of the time, which is the reason we have this high inflation, which is the reason we have an open border, which is the reason we have crime in the streets. The biggest threat to me is to have someone like that representing Georgia, and I say I'm not going to stand for it. Right now, he's called our men and women in blue thugs and bullies. They bringing pronouns into our military, but yet they're saying it's the Republicans' fault. But I want everyone that's going out to vote this coming Tuesday to remember that this has happened in less than 2 short years. This is what they've done to this country. We can't give them any more time because they will totally destroy this country, destroy the state you live in, and they don't seem to care. They don't seem to care because the reason why is if they care, they'll be coming up with solutions. If they care, they'll be talking about it. They're not talking about it. They're going to something else to try to throw you off track. Well, it's not going to happen on my watch. I'm much better than that. When I got into this race, I got into it because of my faith, and I'm not giving up.
Herschel Walker, vividly clear and crisp, and 100% there, clear, knows what he's talking about, knows what he wants for his people that vote for him. All right, there you go, man. There you go. So vote for Herschel Walker down there in Georgia. I like him. I like Herschel Walker. I hope he wins. I hope he beats the other black. What else we got here? Look at this, Musk. All right, so let's go into the election. Who's going to win? What are we basing it on? Just a gut feeling, or what everybody else, the people that matter, say? So some of the people, we like Herschel Walker so far. Fox is clearly in the, of course they want the Republican Party to win. But let's look. Musk, the great Elon Musk, tells independent-minded voters, vote for Republican Congress. Elon Musk, 2 days before the election, is coming out for the Republicans with his 112 million fucking subscribers. Fuck you, Democrats. Fuck you. All right. So to independent voters, Elon Musk says, shared power, this is Elon Musk, shared power curbs the worst excesses of both parties. Therefore, I recommend voting for a Republican Congress, given that the presidency is Democratic. Wow. Very thoughtful, not sarcastic, not conspiratorial at all, full of facts, full of sound and good advice. The good Elon Musk giving the American people good advice, right? Excess. When you have super leftist liberals, right, trying to confuse the real issues in our country about inflation and war and all the other stuff, right? Fucking energy losing. We can't even dig for gas and oil anymore because of the Green New Deal. You know what I'm saying, right? So here's Elon Musk coming out publicly, backing the Republican Party. We love it, man. Good job. Elon Musk for president. What do you think? Elon Musk in his 50s, you think he could do it? Does he have enough money to run an efficient campaign? Of course he does. Can Elon Musk be president of the United States? Of course he can. Could he run as an independent and do it? Well, that's tough because now you got both parties trying to cheat him out. You know what happens when you run independent? You get fucked. But could Elon Musk buy a ticket, a Democratic presidential ticket? Hell fucking yeah. Would the Republicans sell him that space? Hell fucking yeah. Elon Musk, all he's got to do is say, I'm worth $50 billion. 50 billion, 100. He's the richest guy in the world right now. Is he an American? Oh man, where was Elon Musk born? Elon Musk birthplace. He's not American. Ah, you motherfucker. He was born in South Africa. Can't do it. Can't do it, Elon. I take it back. I take it back, man. He could be a senator. He could be a congressman, but I don't think he wants that. He would be a great president. Elon Musk would be a great president. Unfortunately, he wasn't born in the country, which disqualifies him. And look at the liberal left telling people to vote Republican isn't balanced. Owners of social media platforms shouldn't be political activists telling people who to vote for with their massive platforms. Oh yeah, but only except when when your side is getting the better of the argument. When the Democrats, the lunatic Democrats, are kicking people off of social media left, right, and center and accusing them of, fucking cyberbullying and terrorism, then it's okay. But now Elon Musk is using his weight to swing an election in red. Now we have a problem. Let's listen to Kyle Kulinski. You know Kyle Kulinski, someone that I don't respect his deep leftist opinions anymore, but I look at Kyle Kulinski as a bright young man who is sort of balanced when it comes to things like this. So let's listen to what he has to say. You'll hear his extreme leftist rhetoric, and then he makes a prediction about who's going to win and who's going to lose. So let's give Kyle Kulinski of Secular Talk a few minutes. Let's listen.
So now the question is, well, what do I think is going to happen? Look, I'm not some sort of political genius. Any forecast I've ever made that has come true is literally because I looked at the numbers and said, that'll probably happen. so
that's what we all do, man. Nobody knows. Yeah, it's like, look, everybody seems to think it's going red. Yeah, that'll probably happen. That's good analysis, man. That's good, honest analysis by the good Kyle Kulinski.
It's not like I'm some sort of genius that is playing 5D chess here and can read between the lines. But having said that, look, there's so many factors to weigh in consideration because on the one hand, the tides of history are clear. Certainly in modern elections. And that is, when one party wins the presidency, what happens? In the next midterms, they get absolutely wiped out. Happened under Clinton. Happened under Obama. Happened under Trump. It didn't happen under George W. Bush, but that was because of 9/11, so it was a complicating factor, right? He picked up 8 seats. The Republicans picked up 8 seats under George W. Bush.
Okay, so Kyle Kulinski points out an obvious, if you're Kyle Kulinski, that all of the whenever the presidency, whatever party the president is, when he wins, the immediate aftermath in the midterm elections is that the election swings the other way. So if a Democrat wins, it's likely that the midterm elections swing Republican. If the Republican wins, it's likely that the midterm elections swing Democrat. So since Biden is a Democrat, based on that analysis that has been pretty effective all the way back to Bush, it looks like a red wave, according to Kyle Kulinski thus far. Let's continue.
And he had a 63% approval rating, again, because of 9/11. Anyway, I digress. So the general trends of history are very clear. So that's a very, very important factor to weigh in consideration. But then, look, another factor is we truly have never seen a Republican Party in modern American history this openly extreme.
Now that is ridiculous. What is extreme about the Republican Party? This is where we would differ. Right? I don't agree. At one time I did agree with Kyle, but that was years ago. That was 8 years ago, 10 years ago. I don't agree with that. That the Republican Party is the most extreme that there's ever been. False. But we'll continue because I respect his number crunching. So let's go.
And what I mean by that is simply like 53% of the candidates are denying or questioning the result of the last election still at this late date.
That's what they're supposed to do, Kyle. They're supposed to stick to their guns. If you believe elections are rigged and falsified and manipulated, that doesn't go away because the next election rolls around. It becomes a truth. You remember in 2016, Kyle, when Bernie Sanders got the knife stuck in his back? You remember? What, did it go away? What, now 6 years later, it didn't happen? So that's false too. I don't agree with that at all.
Many of them have just gone flat out full authoritarian.
Who's authoritarian in the Republican Party? Who? Trump? Trump is an authoritarian? Trump goes over and shakes Kim Jong-un's hand and de-escalates a nuclear fucking attack by North Korea? Right? Do you think that we would be looking down the barrel of nuclear war with Russia right now if Trump were the president? That's authoritarian? Get your head out your ass, Kyle. Get your head out of your ass. You're a good guy. You got your head is still way up your own ass. You sound like fucking Cenk Uygur right now.
Also, the Republican Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. This is a deeply, deeply, deeply unpopular thing.
That is not a deeply, deeply, deeply unpopular thing, Kyle. Most people agree that Roe v. Wade was trash legislation that had no basis in ground in fact or law. That's why it got overthrown. As I said, there was the two precedences were that it denied women of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Bullshit. And that there was precedence for abortion in America prior to that. Also bullshit. So it's not and people don't like abortion. What don't you understand about that? They see it as killing off kids, right? Fuck the fat, liberal, fucking, bull dyke bitch, right? That gets knocked up one night while she's out there fucking high on ecstasy and gets a load shot in her fucking ass, right? Fuck her, man.
So you mix with that some recent Democratic victories, and I do think it sort of complicates it and makes it so that it is more of a toss-up than it would normally be, right? Like if the Democrats didn't have any of those policy victories, then I think
the Democrats don't have many policy victories. The only one that rings true to me with young people is that they squashed some student loan, like 20,000 or 10,000 and 20,000. That's still not enough on today's measure. They should have deleted all of it. So not many. The Inflation Reduction Act, Kyle. $500 billion, $500 billion to reduce inflation, and inflation keeps creeping the fuck up. Come on, the Democrats don't really have any policy. Respectfully, don't have anything to really tout.
It definitely would have been a red wave. But the Democrats had some victories, and the Republicans are marching right off that cliff and going super extremist. Look, my best guess, if you put a gun to my head and you said, Kyle, you can't be agnostic on this, you have to come to some sort of a conclusion. My best guess would...
Okay, so after saying all that, he's now going to tell you what he thinks is going to happen. Right? He just told you that the Republicans were an authoritarian fucking, they've never been so extreme, right? And now he's going to tell you what he thinks is going to happen. That America deeply, deeply is against, pro-life. That America is deeply pro-life, right? Or against abortion, or whatever he said, right? Let's listen to what he says now.
You're going to see Republicans win the Senate, but it's going to be barely. It's going to be like by a seat or two, right? And Republicans are going to pick up seats in the House, but it's going to be a little bit less than what happened under Clinton and what happened under Obama and, what happened under Trump. Maybe it'll be about in the same ballpark as what happened under Trump.
So there's Kyle Kulinski telling you, based on all the numbers, despite what he just told you about his view of America and the people in it, he thinks it's going to go red. He thinks, and right behind you, you got 538 predicting a 54 to 46 Senate and 83 and 100 massive Republican wave in the House. So
that's my guess. If I had to choose something right now, and a million grains of salt with this, because you could tell I'm very conflicted based on all the different factors, I would say Republicans probably narrowly win the Senate, and they win the House, but it's not as big of a pickup as like the 20.
It's big enough, Kyle. You know that. If the Republicans control the House, all of those stupid, ignorant, fucking factless laws that Nancy Pelosi tries to stuff down America's throat get canned, right? You then have a Speaker of the House, a Republican Speaker of the House. They're going to present legislation that is wildly popular in America, right? Banning masks and vaccine mandates and getting rid of all that shit, right? Although Biden's not going to sign it, it doesn't matter. It shows you where the country is, and that's important because come 2024, you could switch out the president. So thank you, Kyle Kulinski, for your commentary. That was helpful, I guess. What else we got here? What is this? Oh, now all of a sudden, Politico, from out of nowhere, the extreme leftist publication Politico is now warning of hackable voting equipment. Here we go again. A day before, when the Democrats are likely to lose power, now everything was hacked. Right? After claiming the 2016 election was hacked and stolen, the Democrats did, then insisted that the 2020 election deniers, which Kyle Kulinski is right now, are a threat to democracy. Left-wing outlet Politico is now warning that surprise election machines can be hacked. There are real risks that hackers could tunnel into voting machine equipment. Yeah, of course there are, but they're not outsiders. They're fucking Democratic-controlled states. Listen to Nancy Pelosi, 2016, talking about when Trump won, talking about what? Hacking the election. Here we go. Nancy Pelosi. Blah, 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 right? Watch her lie. Watch her lie.
Calling for I'll let them make their own announcement, but to take us to a place where we find out, did a foreign government, and I know that we did, what is the role of a foreign government in undermining our election? That would have been a necessary investigation even if Hillary Clinton had won.
No. See, you're a fucking cunt, and you are gaslighting the American people, right? That's what you're doing right now. You're using hacking. They hacked the election to support Trump. It's a fucking lie. It's a lie. It didn't happen. Look, the country was. You got to go back to 2016 and understand what happened. Remember that the Democratic Party fucked over more than half of their base. They told Bernie Sanders and his supporters to get the fuck out of the DNC. Leave. They filled their chairs in some cases with actors. They were letting people in off the street if they would hold up a Hillary Clinton fucking sign, right? And they took away their credentials. When they got up and left, they came back to their seats and they weren't allowed to be back in their seats. You fucked over half of the country. The tried and true, the young people of America that were pulling for Bernie Sanders to win when he was way out in front, and you fucked them, right? That's who cost you the election. They not only voted for Trump, but they vowed to never, never, ever support your party again, right? That is the statistical fact, right? That is the fact of the matter, right? The Democrats did that. The Democrats set that up for the loss. They set it up, not knowingly, of course, but that was the setup. Right? You screwed the top candidate, the guy who was winning, who would have easily, hands down, wiped the floor with Trump, and you went with Hillary Clinton, one of the most despised politicians in America, and you fucking lost. And that's the reality of it. The Russians didn't do that. You did it.
It isn't about who wins or not. It's about what the interference is. Every day, emails came out from the Democratic side. I frankly think there could have been more aggressive coverage of the fact that a foreign government was hacking our committees.
There was no evidence of it, Nancy. You're lying. What? You mean the DNC computers? We know who did that. We know where the dump came from. People that were paying attention know where the dump that went to WikiLeaks came from. That was from the inside. Seth Rich and his team and his friends took that shit when you fucked over Sanders and you alienated the youth of America in 2016, right? They said, fuck you. And they grabbed that shit on the way out, turned it over to WikiLeaks, and what happened to the kid? The kid got 2 bullets in the back in Washington, D.C. That is the fact.
But it just was like something that was going on, but the fact is something awful was going on. What was interesting to me is that the director of the FBI did not want to sign that consensus report because it was...
Just look at this fucking liar. This is 2016. What a fucking piece of garbage, right? And these are the very people that pressure big tech to shut people up that voice their own opinion. That you know, right? This is the same lady, right? It's crazy.
Too close to the election, and he didn't want to affect the election, but he had no trepidation or hesitation or qualm about putting forth a letter that said might be insignificant 12 days before the election. Part of the Russian agenda is to undermine democracy, not just in our country, but in...
This is how you start a world war. You see how they continue to advance this Russian narrative. Russia hacked the election. We heard that for 4 years. Now Russia Russia invaded Ukraine, but that was coming anyway. China's probably going to invade Taiwan. They already took Hong Kong. They took Tibet. Look, that's the world. That's on a world stage, right? That has nothing to do with our elections. People like Nancy Pelosi need to get the fuck out of the way already.
Other countries as well, to hack, to alter, and to...
So there's Nancy Pelosi confirming the hacking. This is Wall Street Journal back in 2016, you remember?
Wednesday, top security officials revealed the extent to which Russian hackers penetrated states' voting systems during the 2016 elections. Here are 4 things to know. Number 1, 21 U.S. states were targeted.
As of right now, we have
You remember this lie that 21 states got hacked? You remember this?
evidence of 21 states, or election-related systems in 21 states that were targeted.
That's the DHS lady. That's the lady from the Department of Homeland Security on the record saying it, right? 21 states got hacked.
It was the first public reveal by a government official of the specific number of states hacked. In testimony before the Senate panel, Ms. Manfra cited privacy rights of the states that contacted DHS for help as the reason for not revealing their identities.
Could you just for 1 second understand the gravity of what happens in our politics? That the Democrats were so boisterous, standing on the rooftops telling you that Russia stole the election away from Hillary Clinton, not the Bernie Sanders tried and true that not only voted for Trump but promoted Trump to get fucking Hillary out of the way, right? Are now and then vilified in 2020, made it that pressured big tech to shut people up that ever challenged the integrity of our fucking beautiful elections after Biden gets elected, right? The hypocrisy is staggering. Staggering.
To date, only a few states, including Arizona and Illinois, have admitted their systems were targeted. Number 2, Putin himself was behind the hacking, according to officials.
In 2016, the Russian government, at the direction of
So here you go. Here's the Homeland Security guy. Here he is.
Vladimir Putin himself, orchestrated cyber attacks on our nation for the purpose of influencing our election. That is a fact, plain and simple. Now,
It isn't a fact. It's
key question.
it's bullshit conspiracy theory to take everyone's mind off the ball that the Democrats cheat. They rigged their primaries. They said it in open court. I interviewed Jared Beck, not his wife Elizabeth, but Jared Beck. I had him on the show. The videos, the interview is probably still up, of me talking with Jared Beck for an hour about after the fact, after they had already proved that the DNC, after the DNC admitted in open court that they rigged the election, that they picked the candidate. This is not speculation. These are the facts. It's in the law. Right? It's in legal papers. Right? They admitted it in open court.
The question for the president and the Congress is, what are we going to do to protect the American people and their democracy?
So you can see the hypocrisy there. What else I got? So even Wall Street agrees. We'll go to the opening bell right now. I think we're open. Yeah, we are open. Wall Street agrees a red wave in midterms will push stocks higher. Woo-wee! We're going higher. Are we going higher? Let's look. So markets are open. Ding! On election day morning, boom, bang. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 149 this morning on the opening bell. And looks like NASDAQ is up 32, S&P 500 up 11. The big board, the big tech companies that are pressured, got their boot on the throat. Democrats got their boot on the throat of these guys. Maybe tomorrow it'll be over. Apple up 11 cents, Amazon down 75 cents, Google up 50 cents. Microsoft is up $2. Tesla down 6. What happened, Elon? Down 6. The war stocks, Lockheed Martin up $1. Raytheon, the people that bring bombs to a theater near you, down 43 cents. What else? Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, the holier than thou vaccine stocks that give you the injection that makes you safe and sound and make you feel good. The feel-good shot stocks, Johnson & Johnson up 27 cents, Moderna up 14, and Pfizer down 11. So here we are on Election Day, November 8th in the year 2022. In the morning, Wall Street is looking for a red wave. Red wave. They're betting on a red wave. Markets are ticking up. All right, Wall Street agrees, a red wave. Technically, any outcome tomorrow will be beneficial for stocks, but a red wave could be especially bullish. According to Deutsche Bank economist, says their base case is that Republicans will take the House but Democrats will remain their slim majority in Senate. Okay, so Deutsche Bank economist is predicting a Democratic sweep of the House and slight majority in the Senate. I don't know. I disagree with that. I think that they sweep the Senate too, or they egg out a slight win. But anyway, so that's Wall Street. Wall Street. Everybody seems to be pretty sure that the Democrats are going to get, fucking boxed out of the House. And they'll be silent. They'll be pissing and moaning and crying and carrying on like, we have no power. We have no power. We need power. Give us power and we'll do something. And then you give them power and they change the genders of at the bathroom when you go to the bathroom. They make the bathroom gender neutral as if that fucking matters. Things like that. So anyway, Wall Street in the pocket. Wall Street looking to, and this Wall Street believes that we're going to go red as well. It seems like all across the board, everywhere I'm looking, people are calling because again, I'm no numbers guy. It seems like most of the punditry is pointing towards a red Congress and possibly red Senate. And even if, as I said a few times already, even if the Senate remains blue, it doesn't matter because they're not going to bring up, no new laws are going to get passed through the Senate. It's got to come through the House. And the Democrats' agenda officially ends tomorrow if Congress goes red, which is a good thing. That's why. Get out and vote, man. I voted. I say it proudly. I went down the list. Is my vote counted? I don't know. But I went down the list. Republican. In my state, I voted Republican Governor Mastriano, Governor Senator Mahat Oz, and who else? And Congressman in my area, Bognet, Mr. Congressman Bognet. And there were other assembly lower names that I didn't know. I just clicked red. So there you go, man. But watch out. The Republicans are fighting back a little bit. Thousands of misdated mail-in ballots may not be counted in Pennsylvania Senate race after court ruling. Victory for the Republicans. Again, if the rules are the rules, then you have to play by the rules. And the Republicans are going after particular rules that say you must date your ballot or it's not valid. So they're winning on that front. They might be able to toss a couple of thousand ballots or even a couple of hundred that look like they were going to go in the direction of the Democrats. So good. This is the big Senate race right here. There's Fetterman. There's Oz. The polling is extremely tight, and we'll see. I think Oz is going to win. I think he's the winner. So thank you everybody for joining me. Mark Conte reporting. I bet it was a good show. I don't know, but I'm winded right now, and I'm out of tea. So thank you everybody, man. Great crowd today. Really, go out and vote, even if it hurts. Even if you don't believe it, just exercise. Just exercise it and voice your opinion. Tell people, hey, man, this is what I think. Tell people what you think about our country, man, our country and the state of elections. And maybe one day in our lifetime, maybe we could cross our fingers and we'll get we'll walk into an election place and we'll have our bona fide election card with our name on it, and we'll scan our card and pick our candidates and receive a receipt, and those results will appear in real time, maybe right outside on the board, right? And we'll get some sort of transparency in our election someday. But right now, we got to live through the shenanigans and the deep corruption that is American politics. Marcus Conte reporting.